So what I'm doing today is I'm trying to test woods that are inexpensive, that you can find in big box stores, that you can use for boat building. Now here's a piece of underlayment plywood that I've built several canoes out of, and it's about Home Depot has it anywhere from $11.99 to $13.99 per sheet, 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of plywood. So it's underlayment, it's waterproof glue. I built several canoes out of this. It's held up great, but I thought I would do a soaking test to see, if I soaked it, how long would it take to delaminate. But as you can see, it's a birch plywood. Looks real nice, especially when stained. It's really pretty. Has a nice veneer on it. All right, so here's some other plywood. This is 3/4 inch, and it's AC grade, exterior grade plywood that I've built a lumberyard skiff out of. So again, 3/4 inch is about $39 a sheet, and it's an AC grade, exterior grade. AC means A is the best side possible, B is the second best side possible. A lot of big box stores only sell like a BC is usually the best plywood they have, and you'll have like knot holes and stuff on one side. But I was fortunate that Lowe's near me actually stocks AC exterior grade plywood, so that's what I built the lumberyard skiff out of. As you can see, a lot of people are concerned about voids, and that's why they purchase marine plywood, so there's lack of voids. But as you can see in this plywood, man, it doesn't have hardly any voids. This piece didn't have any at all. I mean, I rarely saw any type of a void whenever I was cutting and using this plywood. So it seems like it's really good stuff. The lumberyard skiff has held up well too as well, but I just thought I'd soak these in some water. This is fresh water. Leave it outside. This board has actually been left outside. You can see the condition it's in. It's been left outside in the weather, and we're in Texas. Through the winter, we had a pretty mild winter, but for about 8 months outside. So you kind of see a little bit of mold starting to grow a little bit on here, but hasn't delaminated since or yet. So we're just going to leave this in the water and we'll see. This piece of plywood, not this exact one, but this type of underlayment, I've left outside for 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, and it just started delaminating, barely. So and it was weathered, it was grayed out, but it was great stuff. So anyways, let's just, I haven't soaked them, for a long period of time, so we're just going to soak them and see how they do. So it's been 24 hours, and as you can see, this board has started to delaminate, and I suspect on this side it's fine. Other parts are fine. On this end, it's just in the center. And all you can see this, there's a line here, like an indication, and it's actually, there's a hole right here, right there in the ply, and that allowed water to seep in underneath, and it actually goes all the way through to right there. So as you can see, water's has soaked up through that hole into this part of the ply. But the other portions of it, without the hole, are fine, and even the back side is fine. It's just that top front laminate piece that is actually has risen and has come delaminated slightly. So the other piece is just doing just as well as I expected. No delamination at all. So we'll leave these in here for a while, and again, this is just a 24-hour period, so we'll leave this in here for quite a while just to see how it turns out. Our wood has been sitting for 2 weeks in fresh water, and this is the underlayment plywood, 5mm from Home Depot. You can see that the top veneer has delaminated slightly, but not much more than what it did within a 24-hour period. And again, this is 2 weeks later, and when we looked at it, there was a little hole or a little void in the plywood that allowed water to wick up underneath, and it actually runs all the way across to the other side. But this plywood, you have basically 3 layers, and then you have a real thin veneer on the outside, and that's what's delaminating. The actual ply itself is not delaminating. it's plenty strong, so the integrity is still there. It's just the outside veneer is starting to come off a little bit. But if you coat that with epoxy whenever you're building the boat, that won't happen. So the other part is good. So the 3/4 inch is doing really well. It's absorbed some water, but no delamination at all. So again, this is 2 weeks. You can see how the water's turned brown. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these out and let them dry out to see if the wood delaminates. So a lot of times when you have water damaged wood, wood will look fine until it actually starts to dry, and then it'll start to shrink, and we'll just see what happens there. Alright, the video you just watched for the 5mm underlayment ply and the 3/4 inch plywood was filmed about 1.5 years ago, and those pieces of boards, I was going to do an update to show what happened when they dried out, were put in the scrap pile and thrown away. So I can tell you that the 5mm underlayment ply, that little light veneer that had wrinkled up, had actually flattened back out when it dried out. But again, that wouldn't happen if you used epoxy to coat it. And the 3/4 inch ply, it was actually 23rd by 32nd or 18mm ply, a little bit smaller. 3/4 inch is 0.75 of an inch, and this is 0.719 of an inch. Anyways, that was perfectly fine when it dried out. What you're looking here today is a piece of 15/32 or 12mm ply that I purchased at Lowe's, and I'll show you pictures of this stuff at Lowe's and how much it cost. Back then it was $29 a sheet, but now it's $21 a sheet. But this has been sitting out for 1.5 years, out untreated, out in the side of the yard, and been wet. It's been through freezing weather. We just had 14-degree and 21-degree weather last couple of days, and it has yet to delaminate. You can see it has some dirt and some snails growing on the bottom of it. See that? But anyways, it has yet to delaminate. The only void in this piece cut is this right here, and this tiny void here. And I use this wood as actually a cap to the side decks of the lumberyard skiff. So it's really held up well. And you can see no voids in this wood at all. You see a little bit of checking, and I've experienced a little bit of checking on the side decks just like this in the lumberyard skiff, but I just recoat it with oil paint and it goes away pretty much. So anyways, I just wanted to do an update video and let you know that this wood that you're about to see pictures of is wood that it's inexpensive. It's at either Home Depot or Lowe's. This actually is at Lowe's, but I'll show the prices and where they find it at. But it's really held up well, and this again is 1.5 years of being outside, exposed to the sun, and because we're not under any covered area, and being wet and on the ground and being in the mud and being in the ice and really extreme hot weather. I'm in Texas, so it really gets really hot here. So anyways, just do an update on that, and then we'll look at some other pictures, and we'll look at the boats, or some of the boats that I built out of this wood.
Yep.